Just chatting. Just chatting. Wait, did I turn it on? Wait. Oh no, wait, I did it. Okay, let me try to find it. Alright. Just chatting. Alright, there we go. Nice. Okay. Before I jump into anything, okay, let me just, I want to do like some setup on my side. So, as you guys know with like our previous karaoke session, it is very scuffed. But right now I am currently doing some, I guess, difficult, hardware difficulties. But it's sort of like, okay, wait. But at least you guys can still see me moving, so I think that's good. Alright. I'm just trying to put this up there. Alright. And then if, I'm not sure if we're able to do this, but okay. But if we do it like this, I am big braining over here. I just hope that it works. Myself a thought. Okay, let's try this. Okay, wait. I think I'm big braining. I think I am big braining. I am not sure. Oh my god. If you guys can see like how I'm setting up my stuff, it is so crazy, dude. Okay. But I think you guys should be able to see me at least. Okay. Oh no. Ah! Okay, no. It's falling apart. It's falling apart. Okay. Now let's try. Maybe we can move this a little bit in. What's up, Hamiza? What's up? You can't hear me? Maybe now? I think you can hear me now, right? Because okay, so I was like just setting up some of my stuff right here. So yeah. Okay, now can. Alright, nice. Great. Okay. But don't worry, right now I'm just like doing some I guess you can say some troubleshooting. Okay. But yeah. So right now, before we actually go into singing, actually I haven't even like do like my starting sort of like stream. Okay, wait, let me just adjust some things first. You'll be quick. Alright, if we put this right here. Okay, alright. So, welcome to yet another Fizz Firework stream. My name is Fizz Firework, and welcome to yet another stream. Welcome. So, for today, and I am not sure, I think you are able to hear a little bit of like my reverb. Let me just do a quick check on my filter. Alright. Let's see. Alright, so the filter is on. And I suppose you guys should be hearing sort of like a little echo on my side. So don't worry, it's normal. Okay, but before that, I wanted to do some like fixing on my side. So let me just do some physical maintenance, you can say. All right. So just give me a little bit of time, and then I will attend to you guys. But I mean, I guess you guys can sort of hear me. Like the mic is a little bit far away, and I know it's a little bit like like you can't hear me much, but I'm just gonna leave it like this for now, as I am trying to fix some of like hardware issues on my side. Okay. Oh wait, it works. Yo, okay, but this is a very oh my god, this is a very funny setup. Okay, all right. At least it kind of works. It kind of works. Aha! There you go. Okay, so like currently right now. Oh wait. Okay, so currently right now, like I'm not sure if I'm able to like visualize this and stuff, but okay. Let me just attend to something real quick. Okay, all right. So like right now my setup, right? Okay, you know what? Actually, and right now I am not using like my mic stand, so it's a little bit hard as well. But okay, let me just try to go to my tab, right? Okay, if I would go to here, and then okay. So you know what? Actually, let me bring you guys over, right? Okay, so now you know what? Let's go to. Let me just try to adjust my model right here. Okay, I'm just gonna bring you guys to some like quick chatting, and oh wait. So yeah, okay, wait. Let me just try to adjust on my mic as well. So I'm just gonna mute. I'm just gonna mute for a while. All right, and I think it should. Yeah, there you go. Right now it should be like normal level. Like even though I'm like far, you guys can still hear me a little bit. So it's okay. Right now I'm just gonna like bring you guys to visualize some things. Okay, so on the web. On the web. Okay, ignore all of this. Okay, so I'm just trying to give you guys some visualization on my side. Okay, just gonna put the mic on the table. I know you guys can hear a little bit, but bear with me a little, okay? So currently, let me just find like a table, right? Yeah, let me just find like a table. Okay, so I have like a table right here, right? So right now I have like my, okay, let me just grab like a pillow. Upright. Okay, pillow upright. I think the best one it should be something like this. Okay, so yeah, something like this, right? Okay, so I have like this big ass table, right? And I've put my pillow over here, and let me just grab like a blanket. So, and then, so I have my blanket over here. So currently right now I have my blanket, so let me, and then it's not like a blanket. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not like an actual blanket that you can, you know, use when you sleep. Okay, let me just find like a soundproof foam. I know I have a lot of tabs on, but don't worry. Okay, so I have like these kind of like small little soundproof foams. All right. So I have like these small little guys. Like it's not that much, but basically just like one piece. But the one piece is real. Okay, so I have like all of this just like scattered on top, and then I have like a mic stand. Okay, let me just put like a mic stand. yeah, so I have like my mic stand sort of like, I have like these, like a few here, and then some like in the bottom. And then let me just grab like a pen. Okay, alright, maybe something like this. Send to the back. Oh, oops. Let me just send to the back. No. Okay. Let me just, okay. Alright. So basically I have something like this, and I have like my soundproofs. It's not really like soundproofing, but it just helps to absorb some of the waves. So I have like some pillows here, and then this is tall enough to like act as sort of like a stand to hold the blankets on top. And then I have like the mic stand over here, which helps to hold up the blanket that's like coming down from the top. And then I have like wood panels, sort of like rock wool panels. I'm not sure if they're legit or not, to be honest. And they're like surrounding my place, and this is like my setup that's going on. So which is why I was like doing like fixing on like some of the stuff, because I'm trying to like make everything basically stand, to not make everything fall down. So yeah. Okay, so in this case, let me just bring you guys back. Okay, now, okay, let's go back to just chatting for a while. Just chatting. Okay, great. Okay, so right now, we are gonna just do some like vocal warm-ups. So yeah, okay, I'm just gonna like open some stuff from my end. Okay, all right. Okay, so before that, okay, reminds me of a blanket, of a blanket castle on bed. To be honest, that's basically it. Like, I'm basically building like a blanket castle over my head, but basically with some like other stuff, like standing up, because that's essentially how I like sort of like build a little place where I can practice my vocals. And I just hope that when I practice, I either won't bother my neighbors or I won't bother my parents. But today is a different case, because my brother and my parents, they are out of town. So basically, it's only me at the house. Are you looking into becoming a voice actor or singer? Not necessarily. Like, the reason why like I do like my singing and stuff is because I just want to learn, like, because okay, it all originates because I like metal music, and I just love metal music that I want to learn to sing. And plus I do like a little bit of singing, but I want to try to like sing the metal songs that I listen to. And I don't really look to become like a singer per se, because that is not like my main goal. I just sing for fun. I don't really like sing like professionally. Like, and I think I can, and even anyone can attest to that. Like, if you watch like I think my previous karaoke stream on YouTube with the VOD, you know that I am not the best. I am not the best. But yeah, I'm just like a casual guy, a casual VTuber, just up here, just trying to goof around, just trying to sing, just trying to, lighten myself up, just try to enjoy the process, basically. And even though if I couldn't like sing very well, I know that I just enjoy myself, and maybe hope you guys enjoy as well. but we shall see. We shall see. Okay. So before that, let me just try to set up some stuff, because we are gonna go into, so usually in, okay, but before that, remember to hydrate. Okay. All right, chat, you can just pretend that you redeem like a hydrate button and to drink some water right now. All right. Okay. Okay, let me just try to adjust some stuff on my side as well. And okay, let's go real quick. I drink air gulp gulp. You have successfully lived for another few more seconds. Okay, let me try to adjust some stuff real quick, alright? Alright, okay. So, okay, let me just, okay, let's see. Oh, excuse me. Had a really nice dinner. Oh yeah, for dinner, what do you guys have for dinner? For me, I just had like, just, I think like a cereal bowl. It's not like cereal, but I think it's cereal. But a little bit of like nut, like those like oats and some like fruits on the side, and with some yogurt. Yes, I know I'm a healthy boy. All right, I'm a healthy boy. All right, I do really want to eat the stuff that I want to, but either one, I'm very lazy, or either two, they're very expensive. All right. Okay, let's see. Ba 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 ba. Ba, ba, ba. My sister went to E-Mart and bought some Korean food. Nice. Wait, is it like tteokbokki? Tteokbokki? Is it? It's like something. If I'm not wrong, those Korean food that sell in the mart, they are sort of like yeah. I think you can say they're sort of like in a small little broth, and you just have like some. I think either like tofu or like some other snacks. It's like basically what you're gonna find in a steamboat. All right, so let me just okay, let's see. Okay, all right, let me just go. Okay, so if we were to go to this place, okay, and then if we were to do karaoke, there we go. All right, let me just adjust my model a little bit onto the center. Nice. Ba 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 ba, face down. Da 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 da. Ba ba ba. Godspeed. Oh my god, freaking love this song. Okay, so let me see. We are almost like. Okay. Let me just check something on my side real quick. Okay, great. All right. Wait, what am I gonna do? Okay. Oh, this is what I'm gonna do. So, just gonna put this up. Maybe you guys can see me more clearly, I hope. Maybe the tracking will work a little bit better. Okay, but anyways. So, so right now, right? Before I jump into like any singing, usually I would do like little warm-ups. So later I will like bring you guys through yet again.
Hey, Chris.
Okay, wait. Before that, So I would just do a little bit warm up on my side, and then usually I will follow this guy's video and to like just go through my warm up. And yeah, I guess for now, let me just do like a quick warm up on my side before we jump into the video. Okay, so usually I would like start like with like using like my abdominal muscles to like support my breathing. So it's like ha 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 ha. I know it's like you guys can't really see it, but basically it's that I wouldn't use like my chest to do this. I would use like my muscles in my diaphragm or like my abdominal muscles to basically activate it too, because that is where mostly my singing or even like my power comes from. So yeah, ha 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 ha. And also just to say, there are gonna be a lot of weird ass noises right here whenever I'm experimenting or whenever I'm singing. So if you guys like just want to put me on the side and you want to do your own stuff, it's okay. It's understandable, because to be honest, it may not be the most entertaining thing that you guys will see, because this is really sort of like the reality of like when someone's trying to practice their vocals. So I just trying to put it out there and just to give you guys like a disclaimer, sort of. So okay, all right. So ha 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 ha. And I would try to like attend to chat, because sometimes when I wanna like learn something, I would need a little bit more focus. So if I were to miss your like chat, just apologize for that. All right. Ha 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 ha. Oh, okay, excuse me. Ha 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 ha. Okay, all right. So, all right. And then we're just gonna do a little bit more on my chest voice. So this is sort of like, I guess you can say scales, kind of. So, okay. So like yeah. All right. I'm just gonna do a few more of this. All right. So it's like, oh, just a second, you have voice. Oh, 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 All right. All right. And then the last one, sort of like my chest voice. Oh, oh, All right. Okay. So, so that would be like a warm up. Okay. So I'm just gonna stop like the music for a while, and then we're gonna go to. Okay, let me just adjust my model real quick. All right. To on the web. On the web. There we go. Okay. So, as I said, I think if you guys may have, if you guys have been to my like karaoke stream previously, and this is the guy that I usually follow for like his warm-ups and also for his like videos. If you wanna learn, if you wanna learn like metal screaming, this is, I think for me personally, I think he helped me quite a lot. I haven't like tried other singers, other like vocal teachers like on YouTube. There are some, but this is the first one that I found, and it's quite informational, and I like this guy. All right, so I am just gonna like let me try the position. Oh, okay.
From head resonance to chest resonance, and I'm just gonna sing that. And this is where the floppiness comes in.
Okay, just gonna reduce down the volume.
More and more engaged in.
Okay, so this is where the warm up starts.
But right now, I'm really just trying to be sensitive to, as I give my voice bite-sized little bits of more power, I'm being intensely introspective onto how my.
All right, here we go.
Usually I just make up a phrase.
Oh, I feel the wind. Oh, I feel the wind. Yeah, I feel the wind blow, blow. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind.
Getting familiar with my pushing a little bit more in chest.
I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind, the wind, the wind. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow.
Start adding more dynamics and more push in pure chest. Don't try to mix yet.
Whoa! Whoa! I feel the wind blow.
Yeah, that breaking is
Blow.
especially during a warm-up.
I feel the wind, the wind, the wind blow. I feel, all right.
Make it not accurate because we
Yep.
don't want any tension at all. I'm just using my ear. Nobody gave me a guide for that. I'm just singing what I feel like that will help me relax and use my voice
Yep.
at times.
I feel a wind blow low.
Lower larynx position. Raise soft palate. Let that air come through. I'm feeling better.
Alright, so far so good. We are so good.
Chest, which means I'm starting to get warmed up, even though I've spent a lot of time with head resonance.
Stop it.
Now my very low range
Uh,
out. Here's where I intentionally embrace some fry. Lower chest.
this is ASMR shit.
Necessarily for speed.
All right. There we go. Okay.
Now I'm ready to ease into warming up my mix. And this is where I throw accuracy completely out the window.
Oh yeah, boom, ba boom, boom, boom. Oh, I feel the wind blow. 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 I feel Fry, lure fry. Wow. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. Yeah. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. Oh, also, if my audio is a little bit too loud, please let me know.
Letting my voice do stuff, but it doesn't hurt at all. That's that exposing and exploiting your break that I've talked about in other videos.
Alright.
Now that I'm pretty much warmed up, I'm going to start adding a bit of non-tension filled control into some of the things that I'm doing.
Alright.
Water's always handy.
Yeah, I feel the wind blow. Yeah. But I feel the wind blow. Yeah. 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 I feel the wind blow. I feel the wind blow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel the wind blow. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready
All
to
right.
start singing for real. The only
So,
thing that's remotely
that is my warm up. Hope you guys have like some insights here and there. Okay, let me just open up my music for a little bit. Okay, right now, so since like I've done my warm up, so right now it's sort of like a little bit of like my free and easy mode. Okay, let me just try to do something, right? Okay, because I know if I like put my like mic a little bit too close here, and if I were to scream, if I were to do that, I'm afraid I'll be blowing your ears off. So yeah, I think I'm trying to find it a little bit further, maybe somewhere like this. Oh wait, it does. So if I were to do like this, and if I were to just like test out like my distortion. Okay, now let's see, right? All right. All right. Usually I would do like this, like. Yeah, yeah. All right. So somewhere like this. So it's like, yeah. Whoa. All right. Okay. So right now, and then usually at this point, I would just like go into like my singing stuff. But today, I actually wanna like learn some things from this guy. So let's see, right? Just gonna like practice some things. All right.
Sore or maybe.
All right. But before that, it's like just gonna like. Whoa! All right. And then it's like, oh. Yo! So, like right now, I'm practicing my distortion! So it's like you're sort of like hearing me right now, like in my normal voice, and then I would go, whoa! Something like that. Okay, I'm still very like an amateur at this, but I would always like try to like know like my senses, like how do I achieve that distortion, something like that. Yeah. So it's like, and I think one of the songs that we can practice, I think is right here. So I'll be watching this video. Okay. So this is the video that I would watch to practice like my distortion. So, okay. Let's see
here. I've done quite a few videos on Chester Bennington and his wonderful distortion and screaming techniques.
So yeah.
As Chester is one of my main vocal influences, I'm listening to Linkin Park, Chester.
Okay, now let's see, right?
Okay, there's another sound.
I don't know, is this like a meta or it's like I'm reacting to someone reacting to a video? Yeah. Oh my god, I fucking love this song. Okay, so let's try to skip forward. Bro! Broken bones! Broken bones! Oh, it's right here.
I want to establish the pitch basis, the tonality behind
Broken bones! Okay. Oh my god, how does Chester does it?
And then the mouth shape. Broken down! A victim of! It's not broken down!
Broken down! Broken down!
And that note is prominent.
Damn, that's gonna be loud.
Okay?
Broken down! Broken down! Alright.
So unless you hear that tone come through,
Nice! Nice!
in the clean section here,
All right.
but it's so incredibly different. Listen again. So we have this
Okay.
lies,
Nice!
like such a contrast on the same.
Nice!
This gives us a lot of clues in
All right.
how Chester's getting his sound. Now, I have to say, if you're trying to experiment with this stuff,
Okay.
voice course, this is linked engagements in your own voice. So make sure you do that. As I've been experimenting with this sound, this constriction.
Nice! Okay.
Sound. Now,
Right!
true voice, or my primary chords.
Broken down! A victim of you! Bro!
Close to what Chester is
All
doing.
right.
Experimenting with that, and then listening to what Chester does, going, have I had his stuff wrong this whole time? No, I just had it incomplete.
Okay.
If we take the pitch scream technique that I've gone over dozens of times on this channel, and we're going to use that word lies. Lies! And we shape it like I was shaping earlier.
Lies!
Lies! We put it a bit more back in our throat. We kind of yawn. Lies! To help darken it up.
Lies!
Lies! Lies! Don't worry about how you look or how you sound at all.
Lies!
Placements so that we can layer together the goodness of what Chester's doing. We're still not going to sound like him, but we are going to be inching closer to the same sort of vibe. All right? So then,
Lies! Lies! Lies!
technique.
Lies! Lies!
I've talked about this as the technique. It's a higher constriction, higher level, higher placed resistance in your throat. And you can shape that with your mouth too. So combine the placement of the shape that we had with the pitch, lies, with
Lies!
this sound.
Lies!
Now, my voice is much lower than we hear the lies, that pitch. Here in lies, the combination or the like butting heads of these two techniques and the blending of these approaches that I find so magical in order to get higher with this type of engagement and get that real sheeny, sizzly
Okay.
sort of sound that has more presence than the just standard pitch scream, which I've covered many times, the sort of Cornelian.
All right. Lies! Lies!
But it lacks the
Lies!
both.
Huh. Is there something?
Now, we're going to take that posture.
All right.
And we're going to push up till our voice breaks.
All
While
right.
maintaining that level of compression that we get from that gag.
Lies! Lies! Lies!
It's gonna sound terrible. It's okay.
Okay. Lies! You lie behind! Lies!
Lies.
Lies!
Yes. Lies. 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 Ah.
Lies! Lies!
Hearing it was based on not having that higher engagement, the higher constriction in my voice. It was lies.
Lies! Lies! Lies!
It was like a sneak
Ah,
peek.
I think I sort of hit it.
Sort of
Lies! Lies!
higher high sheen at the same time. It's by combining this upper constriction with the constriction, and that I talked about. We just kind of haphazardly went.
All right. So,
while inching up to your vocal break. This sort of combines all three standard approaches.
you hide behind lies, 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 lies. All right. Lies.
Borrowing from all of
Dude, I don't know how he does it so good.
with
Holy
an emphasis
shit.
on pitch. Let's listen on, and then I've got a few more experiments I want to show you.
All right.
I think further perpetuate what I'm discovering here.
Side golden skies. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Oh my god, it's such a badass. Oh my god. Oh my god! God!
Okay, that word mistake.
Okay.
There's so much voice in there. And if you listen to that sound, and you listen to the posture of his voice, and then you compare that with what we hear Corey Taylor do, particularly in his earlier screams, it does sound like a glorified yell. Mistaken! 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 Where you're just pushing harder and harder. That's not sustainable. Clearly this is sustainable for Chester because he's able to actually go back to clean singing afterward. So what I've been practicing particularly lately is rather than just pushing into it, like sort of yell scream, I've been trying to get my voice to break lower. My voice is cracking on a pitch basis. Okay, so that's sort of that side distortion. Right? But then I'm going to add that upper constriction. Pitch. I have the head. I have all of that going on.
All right.
This is a way more layered and sustainable these types of sounds. The silly, stupid exercise sounds that I just did to the last few
Franken! Franken! You're mistaken!
He gets really clean.
All right.
That's
Damn.
happening in very fast sequence. And it's broad engagement.
Broken bones! What a man.
Sequence.
All right, let's try this.
Broad engagement.
Okay, let's try. Let's try a victim of your lies, right? Whoa! Whoa! A victim! A victim! A victim of your lies! Lies! Huh. Whoa! Lies! 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 Alright. Broken down! A victim of your lies! Ah, maybe something like that? I don't know. I gotta listen back.
A victim of your lies! Oh.
Woohoo! Okay, alright. Behind.
for me.
Okay.
As I started listening while experimenting with my own voice. You often hear when he gets into a screaming passage, he does do that. There's more break and more power behind his voice than simply what this end result is. Right? There's more to it. So if we get to that level of constriction and then let our voice break.
Lies! Lies! Lies!
Area of texture to
You hide behind lies! Lies!
as I explore more.
All right. Inside the golden skies. Behind!
Okay.
Behind you! Behind! Behind you! Lies! All right.
Try that very simple drill. Clean and just stick with yeah, because we can link. Yeah. We can do lots of things with yeah.
Okay.
And then dip. Clean.
Yeah.
And then clean all the way through to where we get that gag sound.
Woo! All right. Okay, let's try that again, right? Say. And I cross inside the golden skies behind your lies! Is it something like that? All right. Let's try that again, right? All right. You cross behind your lies! Behind your lies! Alright, maybe something like that. Okay, so I think that is enough for like my sort of like my for that, and then maybe perhaps let's try like other screams that we can do. I saw this like fry screaming, so I think this one will be interesting. All right, and of course it's Chris Lipe again. It's like the same guy. And then later, we are just gonna do like some singing, and then we are gonna be on our way.
What is on with a fry scream? What does it have to do with fry? And how can we make these screams thick and rangy while preserving our breath and our throats? Let's hone the right sounds and sensations with help from a little Kim Dracula. Listen closely to the word.
Okay, all right. Maybe we can just skip ahead. Let's see.
Sure. Very low breath pressure. Very little true voice or good closure. I'm doubling it with something that has less fry, less vocal fry, and more true voice.
Listen closely to the words in this song. I'm betting a lot of people never.
Full
All right.
Song.
Just gonna skip forward.
Look at me wrong.
All right, now the giveaways are in the transitions. So let me transition a couple times for you. Look at me wrong. Look at me wrong. So what I'm doing is I'm adding intensity to what was otherwise this
All
sort
right.
of engagement. Look at me wrong.
Look at me
This
wrong.
right here now, though. This distortion.
Look at me wrong.
It is upper constricted
Look at me
tissues,
wrong.
including but not limited to the
Wrong.
false chords. I'm adding that on top of well-engaged primary chords. Not going from primary phonation
Yeah, whoa.
to loose
Yo!
primary chord engagement. Those are different things. That's why I'm not adding fry to my voice. That would be that, more closely anyway. But make that sounds. Notice I've still got that primary pitch going on. My primary chords are still engaged. Now, as I pull back my primary chord engagement and direct
I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Holding back air more, and then shape the sound with my mouth, I can also think loose primary chord engagement. Yes, real vocal fry. Behind this, that sound. So I remove the note, or I remove the pitch, by letting my primary chords flop around.
Wow. Alright, nice. Okay, I think we're just gonna skip that. Okay, maybe we will look through the final one, and then later we're just gonna do some singing, okay? So this is sort of like my learning phase, where I try to learn my vocals and to dial them back in. Kind of, side of.
Feeling distortion into your voice.
Alright. Only illusion. Lost! In my memories.
Now, as you're working on those three keys that I'm about to share with you, remember that if at any time you feel yourself do things in the right order, and we have to pay attention to things in the right way in order to unlock good distortion. If we simply push into it or try to force into it at any point, your support. Realizing how it's supposed to doesn't mean loud cleans, it just means tension-free cleans. I can have a well-supported head voice.
Remember, let's do some hydrating.
I can also have an unwell-supported head voice. More on this balance in the free course below. But you can see the difference even. One of them is coming, I'm trying to get to the pitch by using my throat. One of them is I'm literally relaxing into the clean. I'm relaxing into the pitch. Same with chest voice. We may think sometimes that we support our lower notes better just because they're easier to get to, but I'm going to do a lower chest voice note and show you the difference in body countenance and in sound between a well-supported chest voice note and a not well-supported chest voice note. Well-supported. La.
La.
Not hard for me to hit.
La.
Not well supported. La.
La.
Well supported. La.
La.
There's a huge difference here. My energy is coming from my lower abdominal muscle.
Alright, you know what, let's just skip ahead.
A non-well supported clean in my neck, a lot of it's just how you think. So, think about low engagement, well is key number 2 to developing great distortion. Awareness of 2 specific sensations. One is kind of like a gag, and the other one is kind of like
oh, I remember this.
Now you've heard me talk about both of these on the channel before, but if we can have the consciousness of what it feels like to support well, and then these hones
Whoa!
at the top of
Alright.
good support,
Whoa!
ways to use.
Yo!
Let's talk about
Alright.
gag. I'm going to start with primary chord engagement, and I'm going to make sure it's well supported. I'm not going to sing a note or anything. La 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 la. I'm just talking, and then I'm going to stick my tongue out. What I'm doing is I'm moving. Number one, I do feel my lower abdominal muscles kicking in.
Whoa! Yo!
I'm
Whoa! Whoa!
not just a.
Yo!
No, I'm
All right.
feeling. I start low. Old man.
Dude, let me tell you, I don't know what my neighbors would think of me after this.
That gag or that.
I'm so lucky that my parents aren't at home. Oh my god.
So I'm paying attention to this sensation movement as I do the gag. At the end of it, with my tongue, friction or engagement is as high as it can possibly be. Start the gag, it's low. So, feeling out that sensation, we're becoming aware. When the tongue goes out, it's as high as possible. Should feel as high as possible. It's something you get instantly. This is something that you practice. We are honing this sensation. Okay? Next, side. We want to start in a relaxed, well-supported, and then
All right.
release into the side.
All right.
And we want to keep in mind, as we continue to
All right.
support as we release into this sigh, we want to ask ourselves, where are we feeling that engagement in our throat?
All right.
Does it feel like does it feel like Cookie Monster, or low below the Adam's apple, or towards the chest bone? Or direct that sensation higher. Now compare it with the gag. Sigh. Okay. Low to high. Sigh should go high to low. Not so low as
All
down
right.
here.
Let's try this because I think I can do like normal, like when I try to do it myself, but I want to try like step by step.
How these land as we abandon into these two different ways. Third and work on this. We know how it goes. Practiced transitions. I've been working a lot on different types of distortion sounds lately, and I've come to the conclusion fairly recently that great distortion is found in the transitions between these different sensations. Well-supported notes, gags, and sighs. Once we land in a particular distorted sound that feels good and sounds good, if we live there, we end up locking up and are not able to maintain a particular distorted sound the way we want to.
Okay.
Why? I think it has something to do with the fact the transitions into and out of distortion, we can mask with our performances the fact that we are transitioning, but we are always transitioning. This is a really key mindset, and this is something that's gotten worked into my own singing very recently, and I'm excited to share it with you. Here's how to practice it. It involves
All right,
more
let's see.
stupid noises. We're going to start with a comfortable, well-supported note. Choose a chest voice note for now.
All right. La 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 yeah.
From that to a gag. Okay? Let your pitch falter a little bit. Keep thinking that See if you can hold on to that note. If you start to tense up or lose support, start over with the transition. It's all about repetition. You can be mindful of the sensations and the support as you transition. Is I'm passing the airflow management I'm putting up with my support
All right.
from my primary chords to my false chords in some upper constricted areas. Oh, there's all sorts of ugliness, but I'm following the sound and the sensation upward. I start clean. And it works. Now, some of this is faster in because I've honed the muscle memory and the sensations.
Oh, excuse me.
It's the working of these
That's a big
transitions,
burp.
clean, well supported, into the gagging sound. We're moving. All right? Now with the gag, we started with a note.
All right.
And then we
You know what?
added
Okay,
the gag.
actually that is enough for now. Okay, so right now let's go to our karaoke session. Let me just bring you guys over there real quick. It's gonna oh, what did I just press? Okay, let's go here. There we go. Alright. Okay, I think you guys can see me now. So you can see me now. Wow. Okay. So right now, right? And I think I have like my reverb on. Let me check. Okay, I think I did. Okay, great. So let me just try to set some things. Right. Okay. Alright. So I think it should work, okay? Alright. I think it should work, I hope. Okay. So right now, we have some songs that we will like learn. So these songs sort of like serve its own purpose, I guess. But wait, let me just have a quick drink of water. All right. So, let's see. What am I gonna do again? Okay. So, right. Okay. All right. So let's see. So these songs are like either some of them that I like, or they sort of like help me train like some of the voices, some of the songs that some of the like singing aspects that I do. So yeah. Okay, so let's start with this. Alright, I may need to like search up some like lyrics as well. So let's see. I think what's the first one? Time the evaluator. Isn't it lovely? There we go. Alright, so let's try this, right? Okay. So right now I think we should be playing this. Oh, whoopsies. Okay. Gonna move this here and maybe here. Okay, there we go. It's better. Oh wait, oops, I pressed the wrong thing. Aha, there we go. Okay. And then we're gonna press this. Okay, there we go. Move this over here. Enlarge this a little bit. Alright. Okay, alright. So let's start with our first song. Okay. Alright, so this is Lovely by Time the Band. Let's go, boys. Thought I found a way. Thought I found a way, yeah. But you never go away. So I guess I gotta stay now. Oh, I hope someday I'll make it out of here, even if it takes all night or 100 years. Need a place to hide, but I can't find one near. Wanna feel alive outside. I can't find my fear. Alright, and then this part should be like the female part, so I'm just gonna skip forward. Tear me to pieces, skin above. Hello, welcome home. Isn't it lovely? Although heart made of glass, my mind of stone. Tear me to pieces, skin and bone. Hello, welcome home. Walking out of time. Oh, looking for a better place. Something's on my mind. Oh, always in my headspace. But I know someday I'll make it out of here, even if it takes all night or 100 years. Need a place to hide, but I can't find one. I wanna feel alive outside. I can't find my fear. Alright. And then we're gonna go on to the last chorus, so stay tuned. Alright, here we go, boys. 3, 2, 1, go. Isn't it lovely? Although heart made of glass, my mind of stone. Tear me to pieces, skin and bone. Hello, welcome home. Fuck yeah, let's go. There we go, boys. Woo! All right, that's fun. So, that is like one of like the usual songs that I sing, and I really hope that I am not. Oh, whoops. And I really hope that I am not too loud. That my neighbors will like keep banging on my door. I really hope, please, because even though I do have my setup right here, there's still something in the back of my mind that it still haunts me. All right, now let's try, right? Okay, so we have that done. Now let's try the other one. No, not this. Ooh, okay, so this is by the sound. Okay, this previously I do have some challenges with it. I do have some like challenges with it, but I think like recently that I'm starting to get used to like my own mixed voice. It started to become better, I hope. But don't worry, we shall give it a start, give it a try. All right, now without further ado, By the Sound by Caskets. All right. I've come today to set this straight, so hear what I've to say. A few moments of your precious time, you'll never hear from me again. No, I won't come. You've had your say. It's only your account. You blame me for what we become. It's time you heard me out. By the sound of your beating heart and hands. By the sound, here for better or for worse. Content to stay when you're pulling back from me. We'll give it up, we'll make it up as we go. I like to leave the suffering with the hatred and all its grief. Believe me, we're recovering, and the fact is I don't want you to leave. Cause I gave it time and I gave you mine, thinking we could struggle on. But you left my bed, and for damn instead, and you're sorry now I'm gone. By the sound of your beating heart and hands. By the sound, here for better or for worse. Content to stay when you're pulling back from me. We'll give it up, we'll make it up as we go. Alright. Don't waste your heart in mourning me. When you wake up, we're just another memory. When you wake up, don't waste your heart in mourning me. Alright, boys, we're gonna go back to this chorus. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! By the sound of your beating heart and hands. By the sound, here for better or for worse. By the sound of your beating heart and hands. By the sound, here for better or for worse. Content to stay when you're pulling back from me. We'll give it up, we'll make it up as we go. Don't waste your heart in mourning me. When you wake up, we're just another memory. Alright, and there you go. So for that song, it is it helps me like deal with the transition, sort of like you can say it's like let me think, right? So it's like whenever if I go like singing, like so especially right when I sing, is that blah 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 bye, and then like by the sound. So I would need to like sort of transition into that, and then sometimes I will like just now when I sing is that and here for bad, it's like here for better or for worse. So it will help sort of like help me transition from clean to like, you know, distortion, or maybe sometimes like a grit. So yeah, and that's a song that I found that I like and also helps with my singing. All right. So yeah, and then that is By the Sounds by Caskets. So now let's see. Okay. So this is by Dayseeker. So I will need to try this. Okay. Now this is a challenging one because like, okay, let me just put up, right? Transient Macari. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So this is Transient by Macari. So this song is a little bit hard. Like I have challenges in the past because I always try to imitate like the singer's voice, where in actuality I shouldn't do that. Instead, I need to like be familiar with my own voice. So yeah, in that case, without further ado, let's start. All right. Whew. Okay, let's go, boys. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Patient, I lay on the pavement and watch as the clouds sigh like silver lines. Vacant, I wait in my basement, avoiding the sunlight till I feel I'm fading with the daylight, the skies of gray. I'm waiting on the cosmos to call my name, and someday it will. Oh, someday it will. I'm sick of writing sad songs to hide my shame, 'cause I need more than drugs to escape my pain. But someday I will. Oh, someday I will. I long for a moment of peace in my own mind. It never comes. Focus on thoughts never spoken, to share at the right time or not at. The daylight, the skies of gray. I'm waiting on the cosmos to call my name, and someday it will. Oh, someday it will. I'm sick of writing sad songs to hide my shame, 'cause I need more than drugs to escape my pain. But someday it will. Oh, someday I will. When there's nothing else, we must remind ourselves, you guys, that life is transient. So, to breathe the ambience. So when we reach the end, do we wake up again? And if I say my prayers, will you be waiting there? Right. Okay, let's go, boys. I'm fading with the daylight, the skies of gray. I'm waiting on the cosmos to call my name, and someday it will. Oh, someday it will. I'm sick of writing sad songs to hide my shame, 'cause I need more than drugs to escape my pain. But someday I will. Oh, someday I will. Alright. Alright, I failed on the last one. I want to try to transition into like distortion from that. Let me try that after the song. So, alright. So yeah, okay, let me try that, right? Well, oh, someday I will. Nah, that shit. But yeah, Okay, so yeah, that is Transient from Andy Sizak. Okay, and this one, actually, this is another song that I wanna currents by Andy Sizak. All right, so we are straight going on to like a next song. All right, now let's see. Before that, let's do some hydration. Hydration. All right. Okay. So, we are set. Let's see. Okay, so this next song is also by the same singer just now. I mean, okay, just now was me, but it's like one of the vocalists called Andy Sizak. So Andy Sizak, he sort of like had this like it's like video of like he wants to audition for like a record label company. So yeah, this is the song that he took part, and oh my god, like his song is so good, man. He's so good. I freaking love his song. Okay, but nevertheless, here we go. The Current by Andy Sizak. I'm not too sure on how like the song sounds, so maybe like off tune here a bit, so I'm gonna try my best. Alright, let's go. Swiftly it starts, impulses driving me so far astray. I feel a part of myself expire, wither away. Carry the spark, or smother it and lose your grip. Live with the mark, a dream of a star. This isn't my reality. This is my hoping I want something greater. I never knew my talent. A soul that wanders lost within the song. Take me to a better place where I'll embrace the soul inside of me. Alright. Let's cut that. Wow. Man, I didn't know I was this bad. Alright, I'm gonna try to use. Alright, I wanna try to do without music first. Because I think I find myself trying to sort of get used to his I guess song. I'm sort of like trying to chase his vocal range and yeah, so that's a bad sign usually. As you see just now, I was trying to like push and a little bit cracks here and there. So okay, let's try, right? So far astray, I feel a part of myself expire, wither away. And then alright. Carry the spark, or smother it, or lose your grip. Laugh with the mark, a dream of a star, dream of a star. This isn't my reality. Alright. This is hard. Okay. Alright. So it's carry the spark, or smother it, or lose your grip. Laugh with the mark, a dream of a star. A dream of a star. This isn't my reality. This isn't my reality. This is my holding out for something greater. I never knew vitality. A soul that wanders lost within the Take me to a better place where I'll embrace the soul inside of me. Come at peace. Far beyond this mess, my mind can. Far beyond this mess, my mind can't rest. A current carries me. All right. Oh boy. Okay, this song. I think we need to like have more. I think I would need more time on this because this is I don't know how to like approach this song. Right. Okay, but let's try it again, right? Maybe we can just sing like one time for this. Okay. Still searching. Okay, you know what? Actually, maybe not. Okay, wait. Still searching for my family. Okay, wait. Actually, let me find the vocals, right? Okay, wait. Okay, not this. Okay, let's see. Is it this one? Okay, wait. No. Okay. Not this. Is it this? No, it's not this. No, not this. Wait, where's his vocals? Okay, wait, no. Let's see. Not this as well. Wait, it's not this. Oh, I can't find his vocals. But anyways, okay. Right, maybe for this, right? Okay, so, okay, maybe let's try to do it in my own voice instead. Can carry the spark, or smother it, or lose your grip. Laugh with the mark. I dream of a star. This isn't my reality. This is my holding out for something greater. I never knew vitality. A soul that wanders lost within the song. Take me to a better place where I'll embrace the soul inside of me. Come. Okay, maybe not. Okay, you know what? Let's try another song. Not this. Okay. All right. Let's try this. Right. Death by 1,000 cuts. There we go. Okay. Death by 1,000 cuts. Imminence. Okay. There we go. All right. So this is another song. Okay, so let's give it a try. There's no thoughts inside my head. Dark days have taken the best of me. This life has caught me by my knees. There's no cure to that disease. Alright, let's go. Can you turn back time? Change what you have done, to shape who you become. Drowning in my mind, I keep waiting for death to take me. I keep hoping for you to save me. Defy 1,000 cuts! The writing's on the wall. The rise before they fall. Defy 1,000 cuts! Do you bleed for something? Or will you die for nothing? Right. Can you hear the echoes of my heart, distant, beating in the dark? I know the walls are closing in, I feel it deep within my skin. What's the point of living life on the edge of a knife? Past the warning signs, running out of time, drowning in my mind. I keep waiting for death to take me. I keep hoping for you to save me. Defy 1,000 cuts! The writing's on the wall. The rise before the fall. Defy 1,000 cuts! Do you bleed for something? Or will you die for nothing? Alright. Still doing alright, still doing alright. Oh! One by one, defy 1,000 cuts! One by one, defy 1,000 cuts! Do you bleed for something? Or will you die for nothing? Do you bleed for something? Defy 1,000 cuts! The writing's on the wall. The rise before they fall. Defy 1,000 cuts! Do you bleed for something? Or will you die for nothing? Waiting for death to take me. I keep hoping for you to save me. Do you bleed for something? Or will you die for nothing? Do you bleed for death to take me? I keep hoping for you to save me. Do you bleed for something? Or will you die for nothing? Oh, 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 whoa, whoa, Alright, there we go. That's death by 1,000 cuts. Oh my god. I can't believe I nailed that shit. I think I did. But holy fuck, that was so fun. Freaking love that. Alright. So, I think after that, I would do like one final song. Oh wait, actually one more. Let's try this. Oh, okay. So this is more of like a chill song. So the songs now coming on now is like a little bit chill, so it's okay. All right. So let's see. This is what is it again? Dark Sun by Day Seeker. Okay, let's see. All right. There we go. All right, let's go. You held your head up high till dying wasn't far away. I saw you reaching out for another way to be safe. I watched you cut through clouds when the color faded into gray. We knew that it was time to go. The atmosphere is burning slow. Oh, I can feel the cold night, eternally the sunlight is fading away. When there is nothing left to run from, we watch it fade into a dark sun. We watch it fade into a dark sun. I've flown in shallow seas as the sky's turning emery. We knew that it was time to the atmosphere is where we drown. Oh, I can feel the cold night, eternally the sunlight is fading away. When there is nothing left to run from, we watch it fade into a dark sun. We watch it fade into a dark sun. I want the world to know I'm buried in the memories. We knew that it was time to go. The atmosphere was burning slow. Oh, I can feel the cold night, eternally the sunlight is fading away. When there is nothing left to run from, we watch it fade into a dark sun. We watch it fade into a dark sun. Whoa! All right. All right. Okay. Boys, I am gonna like excuse myself a little bit. Just gonna play some music in the background. Okay, I'm just gonna like do a be right back real quick. Just gonna like for a last song. Okay, let's see. Alright, let's save this. Alright, we are just gonna have this on. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna be back in a while, okay? I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye bye! 我这里，我还没有看呢，有猫啊？Thank you 的。Oh my god，那个比尼，好像明星这样哦。嗯，切，没有，好像那些找鬼佬一样啊。哦，我，你们现在在哪里？哦，你们今天什么 plan？你们那边还下雨哦？哦，你们今天还有去哪里？嗯，你们煮啊？你吃什么？去那边吃法国碟。哇，嗯嗯，我是哦，很美啊，那时候我看到。马来西亚人给的。哇哦，啊，嗯，beef jerky 啊，那些干了的。呃，也有那个牛。哇，是呢，有什么分别？普通的酸酸这样啊，毛不来。 今天才下雨，你回来你就知道哦。我不懂哦，我不会看花。也、哎，在水真的是中啊。哇哦，哇17块吧？怎么他们的好像 grocery 很便宜哦，好像。不用啦，不要买了，我们就你买别的，不要买衣服啊你不要买衣服啊，你买别的那些好像小那些东西啊，不要买衣服。等下那衣服又穿不到，等下又丢了啊。买 souvenir 咯，你不要买那些衣服了，衣服等下穿了几年，等下又不穿这样，懂了咯。OK，拜拜，have fun。we good we good。All right, I am back. So I just had like a call with like my parents. They were like on overseas, so I just had a quick call. All right, so let's do our final song, and then we'll just head out for the night. So the final song, oh man, I love this final song. Okay, all right. So let me just try to find the lyrics first. Call your name. Where's the lyrics? Alright. Okay, alright. So let's try this last song. Oh my god. This last song is so. For anyone that watches like Attack on Titan, you will for sure know this song. Alright, now let's see. There you go. So fucking sad song. Okay. She lost a brother a month ago. His picture on the wall, and it reminds me when she brings me coffee, her smile. I wish I could be with her until my last day. She said she gave all her love to me. We dreamed a new life, some place to be at peace. But things change suddenly. I lost my dreams in this disaster. I'm crying, missing my lover. I don't have the power on my side forever. Oh, where is my lover? And I got no power. I'm standing alone, no way. Calling out your name. Alright. I said I gave all my love to you. We dreamed a new house, someplace to be at peace. But things changed suddenly. I lost my dreams in this disaster. We don't know what is wrong tonight. Everybody's got no place to hide. No one's left and there's no one go on. And all I know that my life is gone. I'm crying, missing my lover. I don't have the power on my side forever. Oh, where is my lover? And I got no power. I'm standing alone, no way. Calling out your name. Alright. Love that mix in the end. I suddenly want to try like distortion like at the end. So yeah, not sure would it sound great, but hey, I don't know, just experimenting. Alright. So, okay, let me just go to just chatting. Just chatting. Alright. Okay. And because of that, since that is the last song, and yeah, that it is that for our vocal practice stream. I'm not sure if you guys are like first time like coming to like my vocal practice stream, but yeah, this is sort of like what I usually do. Like I would do like warm-ups, and I would do like some learning, and I would do some singing with like the songs that I have. Maybe I will like add like more songs in the future to like practice, but these are the usual ones that I have. So yeah. And I guess that's about it for today. Thank you guys for like joining me on this journey, because like the main thing is that one thing is that it sort of like motivates me to like practice my songs, to practice like singing. And the second thing is that I want to show that and I said this many times, that I want to show that the behind the scenes of like when someone is trying to learn singing, that it's normal to make like really weird noises, or like it's just normal to like just experimenting, you know. Like yes, sometimes you will like push too hard to like achieve a certain tone, but the main thing is that you will need to learn from like each session, and just to find ways to further improve, or maybe you would like to seek like some other help. But always know that this is just part of the process. So yeah, I just want to like show that too, because we've always seen that our the singers that we have, we will try to emulate them, and sometimes we may not know where to start, and it's okay to not know where to start. And that's the beauty, is that we slowly learn from the journey. And at this vocal practice stream is, I'm just recording down my journey, and maybe I can master a certain tone, a certain like singing style in the future, or I may not. But that is not the point, because in the end, I know that I'm enjoying the process, and come on, the most importantly, I enjoy singing. And that's the point. Like, even like after singing for 2 hours, and even like practicing sort of like my vocals that may or may not potentially damage my vocals if one doesn't like do it right. I guess it kind of shows that I have like a few experiences here and there, but of course I'm always down to learn. But anyways, yeah, that is all for today. Thank you guys for joining. And yeah, guess that's really about it for today. Thank you for those that join in. Thank you for those that even stop by. Thank you for those that are in the chat lurking, or even those that take your time to like to chit chat, So yeah, I guess that's about it for today. My name is Fizz Firework, and I hope you enjoyed this stream. Alright, see ya. Bye bye. Bye.